Hey, we're Daz, Gaz and James, and welcome back to some Mirren Shiny.
So today we're going to discuss the best and the worst game that we've ever been to.
Shall I start?
Yeah, you want to kick us off?
Well, I think the worst game I've ever been to, Derby, when we were in the Premier League, when was it? 07, 08?
07-08 was the
horrific.
We should probably add, by the way, we are all Derby fans,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of these games are Derby heavy.
Yeah, that horrific season that we had there. The last game of the season, I'd never fallen out of love with football so much as I had done that day. Like, lost 4-0 to Reading at home, like, already down. You think, oh, they're like getting relegated as well, pretty much. You think, oh, we can claw a bit of dignity back.
We lost that a long time ago.
Were they definitely relegated anyway?
I think
or did they have to win to have a chance?
I think they had to win something
maybe?
like 6-0 or something, didn't they, to stay up or something like that, and they got 4. And it's oh, good lord! Like,
Surprised they didn't get the 6.
I know, yeah. It was a
desperately bad season, wasn't it?
It was a really, but then just at the end of that season, and then
It was a fitting finale.
I absolutely hated it. I probably could have cried. I probably could have cried half of that season, to be fair.
Yeah, you can take your pick.
I mean, the only good thing about that season for me was seeing teams like Liverpool's and Chelsea's and stuff like that. You go, oh yeah, seeing like your Gerrards and your Lampards, and you go, oh, yeah.
Seeing Roy Carroll nearly score against Man United.
Yeah.
That's still my favourite.
There were some funny moments.
Jamie Keverley's 50-yard fall over. Started on the edge of his 18-yard box and he finally fell in the other 18-yard box.
It's the longest run I've ever seen. Where someone's just been tripping the whole way.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, so that's definitely my worst game I've ever been to. There's probably been others. I mean, there's a lot of other games. I went to the Brazil-Mexico Olympic final when it was in England at Wembley. Such a dull game, I fell asleep.
Really?
Yeah. Like, me and my brother went, got the train down, had a few beers, dead excited. Obviously, all the fans there, everyone's in like all the masks and all that face paints and all the banners and stuff like that. And 30 minutes in, I nodded off, mate. Nodded off. And I went to see, like, specifically to see Oscar. Like, Chelsea had just signed him, and thinking like, oh, he's going to be a war beater, this lad. He could have been brilliant in the half an hour of sleep, I don't know, but the rest of the game he was absolutely shocking. It was a bad game.
Not even sure I saw that on the telly, to be honest.
No,
You didn't miss much, to be fair. You didn't miss much at all.
I just hope it zoomed in on you asleep.
Probably did. Yeah. Right, who's next?
So my worst game is, I've got a bit of a theme of playoffs, but my worst game was the playoff final 2014 where we lost to QPR. And it's not just the game itself was horrendous, I mean, the worst, but everything about that day was just like an anxiety nightmare, because you came with us, didn't you, on the bus? And it was, how long were we on the bus for? It must have been about 7 hours.
It's
still on it, I think.
And they wouldn't let us drink.
Yeah, wouldn't let us drink. There was no toilet as well, which is always just the worst combination ever. It was forced fun as well. They had that quiz on there, didn't they, halfway through, and they just sort of bringing down like sheets, and everyone had to take. And you just like, I just want to get there. And then we could see Wembley for about 4 hours, and the guy wouldn't let us get off the bus, would he? He was like, no, we've got to get to the park. We've got to get there, you know.
We seemed to be going down like a cycle lane or something.
Oh,
it was like circling slowly around the stadium.
That's what I mean about the anxiety nightmare. One of those dreams where you want to get to somewhere, but it's just somehow gets further away. As you get closer, it's like more walls to get.
You're late for your exam, and you suddenly realise you're just in your pants.
Yeah. So I turned up in my pants anyway, and we got there about 5 minutes, didn't we, before the kick-off? And I went with, I had a ticket with a guy I used to work with, Steve, and we were sat at the very top. At the very highest arch.
Or behind the goal?
No, it wasn't behind the goal. It was at the side. And I've got a bit of vertigo, but fucking hell, it was really steep and high up the top. Managed to get to my seat just as it kicked off, dripping with sweat, really frustrated. Hadn't really had that much to drink because I just knew I was going to piss myself on the bus. Obviously, the game happened. Absolutely. How we didn't win that. I mean, we dominated that game.
You could see it coming though, couldn't you? It's just one of them things as a fan, you can just feel it when something horrendous is going to happen.
Yeah.
They had a man sent off quite early, we were just dominating. To be fair, we didn't actually make many clear-cut chances, but we were all over them, weren't we? You could feel that finale coming.
And it's just the key, there's that famous photo, isn't there, the Keogh, where he's trying to desperately sort of stop it from, or block the shot from Zamora, and it's horrible. And just the eruption of the away fans, and I cried.
Yeah, I remember I went to the White Hart pub. And for those who don't know, the White Hart in Derby is a bit of a rough pub.
Strange choice. Why did you go there?
I'm not into, because I knew they were showing it.
Did it take you 7 hours to get there?
No, surprisingly not. I went there.
There's a lot of places showing
I know.
playoff final. Definitely other options.
I don't know why. I thought I'd go.
Blood.
I thought like it'd be good if we won. You know what I mean? It'd be like free beers all around and whatever. I know the landlord who owns it as well. So, and then I ended up going to another pub after we'd lost and just sat on my own for like 2 hours. And my then girlfriend was like messaging me going, "Where are you?" I think I just messaged like, "Leave me alone." Just didn't speak to anybody for like 4 or 5 hours. Like,
over.
Everything
is over.
I think the worst thing for me was crying at the end and then crying again when I realised we were going to have 7 hours to get back again. That was the worst part. And we got back on the coach, started driving, and then all the QPR fans started rocking the coach. Do you remember? And there was that one guy who was just. He would just sit down, mate. Like, you know, there's thousands of them, and there's like 40 of us on this bus.
Yeah.
And he's giving them all this kind of like back chat, and they're like shaking the bus. I just want to go home now.
Yeah,
if teleportation would have been an option there, I'd have teleported straight to bed, just not got up for about 3 days. So it was just a horrible experience, and the best part of that day, the best part of the worst game I've ever been to is this that my friend Steve got me, which is
a hanky.
A hanky, which is the best thing ever. I absolutely love that. So I use that to drown my tears every time.
Nice touch.
Did have Bobby some more a signature on it at one point.
Yeah. Hanky, just next to it, slipping. Right. Go on, James, your worst.
So I've gone for the same season as you, the 07-08 Premier League nightmare.
I could choose any one of them games.
I mean, yeah, I nearly went for we played West Ham. I think they had some sort of flu epidemic or something.
They did an injury crisis, didn't they?
It was basically West Ham reserves.
And they still battered us.
It was 5-0. We lost 5-0 to West Ham reserves. That was pretty painful. But I didn't go for that. I went for the Preston North End FA Cup game.
Oh, yeah.
Because we went... oh, my God. It was already... Like, the season already at that stage was a write-off. It was absolutely horrendous. But I thought, maybe a bit of respite. At that point, Preston were in the relegation zone in the Championship. So I thought, well, surely this is like a nice morale-boosting win. 4-1 defeat. Ripped apart by Carl Hawley. Whoever that is.
We were so bad that season. It's absolutely...
I think that's the first time I realised just how bad we were.
I remember the fans were upset when Eddie Lewis limped off after about 12 minutes, and you know things are bad when you're frustrated.
How could you tell he was limping? I know. He could have just been running. That was literally no difference. But like a little side note to that, I was bullied by a child during the game as well. Do you remember? It was about 8 or 9, roughly like quite a proper child, but one of them children that's got like
11-year-olds. Like.
Yeah, he's basically like a child that's got the face of a 30-year-old thug.
Okay.
Like looks like a proper meathead. You can tell he's going to be like a lunatic when he's older.
But I wonder what he's up to now. Like 10 years down the line, should try and get him on.
Probably, I imagine in prison.
Try and get him on
tonight. If you watch the shit out of you.
But he was sat the row in front of us, and the whole game he was just turning around. It just really wasn't it? Like,
he started off quite funny, and by then you were like, I'm a bit concerned.
I was actually a bit scared.
Yeah, I know.
I couldn't even fully watch the games. I was like, I could see he was still turning around. Is he still? He can't still be cut. Yep, he's still. Like the whole. I don't know what I'd done. I don't know why he picked on me, but I was honestly a bit intimidated by this 8 or 9 year old. I hate chavvy children. Yeah, so that was like that definitely made it worse. Something already.
Did he actually say anything to you? Or?
No, just stared at me the whole time.
You have got one of them faces.
Maybe. But it wasn't even with anyone. It was just a child by himself that'd been sent to bully me.
Was he holding a note saying like, "Please help"? And you just like, "I'm being bullied."
Took it completely the wrong way.
Yeah.
But it's just the fact that you're already witnessing something horrific, the 4-1 defeat to Preston, and then there's a child just like being bullied. It's like having a tooth out and the dentist calling you a bell end or something.
Not that again.
I'm actually having a tooth out tomorrow.
Topical. Make sure he calls you a bell end.
So yeah, that's probably. I think that would have to be mine.
Yeah. So what about favourite games then? What have you got?
My favourite, again, like I say, playoff theme is the 2007, the precursor to the worst season we ever had, but the playoff semi-final second leg against Southampton.
Oh, yeah.
We'd beaten them, I think it was 2-1 away, hadn't we? Steve Howard, brace.
Yeah.
And then just everything about that game and what happened afterwards was just...
So dramatic.
I just don't think I'll ever top a live game that's just got me so excited.
Yeah, I went with my dad and my brother, and you were there separately, weren't you?
Yeah, we all sat separate, didn't we? Because the rest of every other game we all sat together, and because it was such a big game and it was sold out.
Yeah.
Remember, I was sat quite far down sort of the Toyotas. It was a bit weird, really, but yeah, everyone was kind of spread around, weren't they? And just it was so exciting. We scored really quickly, didn't we? If I remember right, Leacock goal. I'm sure it was.
I think so.
Then they scored. Viafara scored too in that game. You remember Viafara?
Yeah.
And there's I remember a bad back pass and a slice out by it must have been Bywater, and then he put it in from quite a distance.
Gareth Bale was playing, wasn't he?
I don't think he did play. I think he'd already gone to Tottenham.
Did he go? Had he gone in the January?
Yeah.
So remember he scored against.
He scored against it in that season. He scored a free kick.
Yeah,
I thought he was playing for them then. Might be wrong.
Yeah, and we ended up losing 3-2, which took it to 4-4 and extra time. And extra time was just so nervy. And then, I don't know if you guys can remember, the heavens just opened. Heaviest rain I've ever seen. Ever. I'm sure I've never seen heavier rain. And inevitably penalties. And you just knew, being Derby fans and England fans, that it's just not going to end very well.
You just always, it's ingrained to expect penalties to go wrong.
And all of our penalties were just brilliant.
Yeah.
Top corners. Just absolutely fantastic. And then just seemed written that it was going to be Idiarquez to put the one over. You know, with Raziak scoring the goal to take it to extra time, and then Idiarquez missing.
Because Idiarquez was a bit of a modern Derby legend for us, wasn't he? We really loved him. Went to Southampton. And wasn't quite as good, and ballooned the penalty over.
It was just and it just there's this footage, and there's the rain coming out, everyone celebrating, people coming onto the pitch.
Yeah,
just unbelievable scenes. And then what happened afterwards, where let's go out, let's have a few drinks. You know, we're all a bit merry anyway, and we went to a club in Derby called Scream, and lo and behold, the whole Derby team.
I know, that
was
the weirdest nights of my life.
That was so strange.
And we proper friended them, didn't we? And I just remember Jay McEverley spraying champagne. We signed him, didn't we?
Yeah, we signed Jay McEverley.
I don't know why, but we signed his body. I remember, Looper Lee crashing cigarettes off his.
So then Steve Howard telling him off.
He was
the daddy of the team.
He was a bit of a ladies' man, wasn't he? I remember.
Yeah. I remember touching him just like, I've never touched anyone more solid. I had a bit of a tingle. I was like, I think I was Jay, but maybe I am. I say touch. Ripped me wide open.
Yeah, then we all danced around to the Fratellis and stuff, didn't we?
It literally didn't matter what came on.
Billy Davis dancing to Rock the Casbah. That was my favourite moment. That was. I'm sure it was just smaller than obviously people say telly ads a bit of height and a bit of weight. Just tiny.
Yeah.
Polly Pocket.
The manager that looked most like an owl. I would say.
Definitely.
Without a doubt.
The size, shape,
do you remember that
and
footage of him trying to get the lid off his drink that time?
I forgot.
It off for ages. Start spraying it all over the place. But that everything about that
was
game.
great.
And then somehow after the playoff final, they all turned up again, didn't they?
Yeah.
And it was just ridiculous. That's definitely my favourite ever game to go to.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Again, playoff kind of themes. The playoff final against West Brom when we went up for our shocking Premier League season.
Yeah. It was sort of predicted then though, because we were shit in the playoff final.
You
could sort of see what was coming.
It was the opposite the QPR game. We didn't deserve to win that at all.
Yeah.
Was it Seth Johnson's last game for us as well?
He got a bad injury.
Like a hero's farewell, wasn't it? Really, and we didn't lose that game.
Their team was
West Brom
really
actually played football, didn't they? Whereas we were just proper meat and two veg.
Yeah,
just whacking up to Steve Howard, hope for the best.
But I was kind of quite low down in Wembley. Level with the 6-yard box, so as that goal went in, it was right in my line of sight, and I've never sworn so much in front of my dad ever. Just absolutely.
It's fantastic.
In his face, really in his face.
We went down the night before for that game, didn't we? And stayed over at a friend's house. Which is definitely, if I ever go to a playoff final again, is what I would do. It was just
But then on the way out. But all the West Ham fans were obviously
West Brom,
all a bit inconsolable. And there's this bloke and his young daughter who couldn't have been older than 6. My dad, who's 70, runs up and goes, "Whoa, in your face!" And this bloke's swung from my dad. Didn't really connect with him, but gone for him. I had to kind of drag my dad away from a fight.
Then the daughter kicks the shit out of you.
And that lad turns up and kicks the shit out of you.
Yeah, but all round that was an unexpected fun day out, if you know what I mean. You kind of go because in the playoff final, you think, we're getting beat here, no matter what.
Do you wish, in hindsight, we hadn't have won that game with what happened after?
I guess you need the bad moments and the good moments in football, don't you? We've probably had more bad than good as Derby fans, but you do sort of need those horrific. But I'm not sure if that was just a bit too far. That season.
We kind of overachieved though, didn't we? Really, that season, and
we didn't play particularly attractive football, did we?
No, we were quite meat and two veg. We were a proper championship team, weren't we?
Yeah.
We weren't at all ready for the Prem, which definitely showed.
The team from 2014, if it had played the team from 2007, 2014 would have battered them.
Oh, absolutely.
So much more attractive football.
Yeah, we should have gone up that season. Yeah. But when we actually went up, we definitely weren't ready.
Yeah.
So your best game, James, or?
Yeah, mine was. I was choosing between a few from my sort of teen years when we were actually good. So the 97-98 season, the first Pride Park season.
Yeah.
I could have picked quite a few from that when we beat Southampton 4-0.
Yeah.
Played some brilliant football. The one I went for was when we beat Arsenal 3-0.
Yeah.
So this was like fairly early Wenger. They won the double that season. Then they just signed Anelka.
Yeah.
They ended up winning the double. Were a properly good team. Even in that game that Wright played, Anelka played, Vieira, Petit. They had the classic back four. It was like a really good team, and Derby beat them 3-0.
I know.
And that was the best season we've ever seen. That was.
Yeah, it was so good.
I'd go so far as to say if you picked the best Derby team that we've seen,
it'd just be that team.
It'd be pretty much 96, 97.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, around that sort of era, we were really good. Wanchop had just got Premier League Player of the Month, and around that time there was always the curse. Once you had Premier League Player of the Month, you were really shit for a few weeks. But Wanchop scored 2 in that game. The front three, Baiano, Sturridge, Wanchop, were all completely unplayable. Sturridge at that time was superb. I watched the highlights actually earlier. Sturridge was just like burning past the players.
Was that the game where was it Kieran or Winterburn made that horrendous error in the box?
Winterburn
tried to control it and then just passed it straight to Wanchop.
Yeah,
I remember.
I think around that time, Wenger was interested in signing Sturridge
right,
as Ian Wright's replacement, which seems bizarre now looking back. But yeah, we were really good. I think it's the naivety as well of youth. You just expect that to last forever. Yeah. This is how good Derby are. It's always going to be that way. Actually, no. You're like 38 now, still waiting for us to be that good again.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Any other honourable mentions of good games or bad games you've been to?
I remember a bad game where we played Plymouth and it was just pissing it down all day, freezing cold, finished 0-0. It was the worst game I've ever seen. I'm sure me and you went, James. And just trudging out there, and it's just been an awful performance, and you're soaking wet.
Yeah.
And you just you get home, there's nothing even to talk about. You don't want to have a drink. You just all I want to do is go home and have a bath and just go to bed. So there's been a lot of games like that. I mean, that season we've mentioned. You could pick any game apart from that false dawn where we drew with Portsmouth first game. It was really sunny. It was really nice. 2-2. We're gonna have a chance of staying up here. And then cut to 6 months later, we're all just like, this is the worst we've ever seen.
I know. I think I lost 3 stone that fucking season.
I know.
Crying.
I think we all need another season like that.
Yeah. Any other honourable mentions from you?
No, there's plenty to choose from the bad games.
Yeah, I think.
Say pretty much any from that season.
Yeah. Or a couple of the last Clough seasons. They were kind of dire to watch.
We had some bad games.
I'd go with a good game, the Brighton playoff semi-final.
Oh yeah, that was
where Hughes scored that
lovely flick.
That was a really, really good goal.
Like you said, we've had some false dawns, haven't we, recently, where it looked like we're playing well and then it kind of fades away. Under McLaren, which might be bizarre to people watching, that under McLaren we were absolutely brilliant for 6 months or so. Superb.
We were one of the most informed teams in Europe, weren't we?
Yeah, our stats were comparable with Barcelona's possession and pass completed and all that.
And then we get to Feb every single season and suddenly forget what we're doing, tie shoelaces together.
Yeah. So I think that's that.
Yeah. Well, let us know your best and worst games that you've ever been to.
Yeah. All right, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
That was a loud hey, wasn't it?
Hey!
Hey, guys!
I'm going to do that again. It was
It's fine. It's fine.